Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. I am going to be talking about something that some people may or may not know about. It's called cybersecurity and securing your phone. If you're interested, you should listen to the rest of this because it tells you. I'm going to be talking about how to basically help you keep privacy within your conversations with your phone using Messenger on Facebook or any other type of applications because nowadays, as you know, we live in a time where there's really no privacy. I'll just get started. So basically, right now, with the government shutdown and that sort of thing, we're kind of like vulnerable to um, cybersecurity hacks and that sort of thing. But then again, we always have been. Um, to tell you the truth, we are never really secure. No internet or phone connection is ever secure. No email is ever secure. And that's why a lot of times, if you've ever had contact with anybody from federal government, they always have what am I trying to say? Like in their emails, they'll include things like, this is classified information or it's not. Because if it's classified, it can be protected under federal law. There's just a lot of shit to it. So anyway, I don't want to get into that. But so when you go through your phone, initially most people buy their phones and they don't even have an idea. They have no idea what's even on their phone. Most phones are preset. They have factory settings in them, and most people don't know that they can be tracked real easily, especially through Google and Google services, because if you've never been through your app settings, I would encourage you to go to settings and actually go through all of the apps, and actually see what permissions are being granted. There's something called permissions in the settings where you either grant permission for the app to do many things that people don't even know about. So sometimes you'll go to an app that you have installed that you didn't even know you had installed in your phone. You have like games and things like that you didn't even know existed, because they're factory set up that way. So when you get your phone initially, you should really go through your settings and make sure that you are aware of what apps are on your phone and what permissions are granted. So when you go through permissions, you're going to notice that permissions is actually granting like Google services, Google Play, Google in general, internet, all those things are actually asking for permission to access to your phone, access to your contacts, access to your location, there's some that have body sensors to know when you're by your phone, when you're not, what movements you're making, where you are. They can record your conversations. They have microphone permissions. They have camera permissions where they can it actually tells you when you're on the app granting or turning off permissions. It'll actually tell you give us permission to basically take photos of you, take pictures, all that sort of thing. So another thing is if you're making phone calls and you gave them access to your phone or your messages, your SMS, text messages, they can read them. And some phones will show you that setting. When you're turning on and off the permissions, it'll actually show you what the permission is granting. Some phones will show you the type of permission they're asking for and what they're using it for. So like, for example, they'll be like access to microphone, but that won't really say anything. It'll say access to camera, to you give Google services, for example, permission to take photos, record video, blah, blah, blah. Or microphone, you give Google services permission to record. So sometimes these people are recording when you're not even on your phone. The other thing is that's actually like a really huge thing because you're not even aware if you're not turning that permission off. By law, they have the right to because you granted them permission. So you can't really sue them or say, oh, well, I didn't give them permission. They're going to tell you, well, look in your terms of use. And Google does this a lot. They have a privacy statement and all that sort of thing. You should really look through it and kind of know what you're getting yourself into, because that's how most people's privacy is invaded. So when you think that your photos or your nudes, are secure, they're actually not. And if they're uploaded onto a cloud that belongs to Gmail, or you're backing up your phone and stuff like that, so if you lose it, you can, enter or buy a new one and then upload all that information. That information does not belong to you. It belongs to Google, because they are the owners of that drive that you're uploading all your information to. They are the owners. You are not the owner. And a lot of people don't understand this, and it's so important that people understand what they're giving permission to. I'm not an attorney. I can't give legal advice, but what I'm saying is that as a citizen, as a fellow citizen, you need to know what you're getting yourself into with phones and email and all that. Nothing is secure, okay? And you do not, if they want to have access to all that, to your emails and read them, they can, because they're the owners. Remember, you don't own Google, you don't own Gmail, so you don't have the rights to say yes or no. There's limited rights for us as citizens. The NSA also has invaded, a lot of information from us. There's something also called cookies, where people, basically what the websites do is they install cookies. Either, remember that your phone works as a computer. It's working off of a system, either an iOS system or an Android system. They are both systems that work like computers. It's the same thing. All the apps that you have on your phone, you have on a computer, because essentially it's doing the same thing, right? So what ends up happening is it's working like a computer. You get cookies installed into you give permissions also to have cookies either blocked or accept. You know how people used to have pop-up blockers, and then you could block them? Well, you can block cookies too, but if you don't block cookies, basically they're collecting information about you. After you leave a site, they will follow your browser to see where your next search is. So let's say, for example, this is probably a bad example, but if you're watching, like let's say you first went to Google, and then the next page you go to like porn or something. Well, they know that you frequently visit porn sites, or that you frequently shop on Amazon. And then they start creating a market for that. They start collecting all that data, and they sell that information so that third-party people can tailor, what do I want to say? They give they collect the information, they give it to third-party people so that they can essentially just create a market. They want to know how many people visit this site. What do they buy? What do they like? And sometimes it's like not a big deal, right? But sometimes it kind of invades your privacy, because what if you are going to a porn site? And I know it has its ups and downs, because the upside to that is that it actually helps with, locating pedophiles, or if they're downloading weird shit. Well, that's great, because it actually catches people like that. But the downside to that is that if you're an innocent person, it's kind of invading your privacy, right? So if you guys want to know more, I would kind of look up federal law, privacy rights for citizens. What else? There's when you guys have a phone or a computer, you need to go through all the settings and make sure that you know what you're granting permission to, or who you're granting permission to. Go to settings. So usually it looks like a little wheel with I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a little wheel sometimes, because it doesn't actually say settings. In the older smartphones, it does say settings. If you have a flip phone or one of those older version phones, it might say settings in the menu. So you go to the main menu, or you press the home button, and that's where you'll be able to see, go to settings, go to apps, and you'll be able to see a list of your apps, and you'll be able to go down, to see permissions, and that's where you'll be able to see what permissions have been granted. Let me tell you, I found that Google Play Services has all sorts of permissions that they want from you. They have stuff like, they have body sensors. Like, why the hell would they want to know? Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit's weird. They want access to your camera, access to your location. If you're one of those people that, are really private, you should really look into blocking that, because anybody can pretty much hack Google. They can find out where you are, where you're located. And then if you are trying to, even if location services on your phone is off, you are still granting permissions to those applications to your location. Okay, I just want to make that very clear, because people are like, oh no, I turned off the location services on my phone. No, okay, that's on your phone, but still the applications have asked for access to your location. So, sometimes have you ever noticed that you go on your phone and you're going to weather.com, for example, and you end up seeing your city, the temperature right away for your city, and you see what the weather's like in your city. How do they know what city you're in? Because they have access to your location. Because in the app, you are basically, it's defaulted to location services turned on. So even if on your phone you have it turned off, under the app they can still access your location. Okay, sometimes it's dangerous. There's people who are hackers. They have they're really skilled people. Make sure you change your passwords frequently, even if it's on an email. I've heard there's people who have, passwords were posted on the dark web and things like that. It's so freaking crazy. The cyber world is so complicated and so crazy. You really just gotta really be careful, especially if you're one of those people that, need privacy or have had problems with an ex, or people stalking you, trying to locate you. I would highly recommend to go through all your apps, make sure your location services is off so that you keep yourself safe. If push comes to shove, you can always put your phone on airplane mode, but that's just really, if your system's hacked, it doesn't matter. When it's hacked, and it's really hard. It gets really complicated, but I don't want to go into all that. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope you guys don't ever have to go through some shit like that where you have to hide and turn your location off. But I have worked with some women of domestic violence in the past where they have experienced stalker issues, and I thought this would help. So I hope you guys have a great Wednesday and try to stay safe. And out of the freaking snow, it's snowing where I am. Oh my god. So I'm stuck indoors. Alright. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, comment below. I could probably help you with a few tricks or tips. Thanks. Bye.